Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I am Mike. Thanks for spending a piece of your day with me. Not you, you fucking fly. I decided, like a big dumb fool, to go back and watch the Silent Hill movies again. I don't know if I was a big dumb fool or not. Sometimes you ever get just an aching in your hoo-ha to just go and rewatch an entire series of something, even if you didn't like it, just see, hey, maybe I'll like it. When you're cleaning your closet, then you find a toy that you've been looking for forever, and you're like, fuck yeah, cleaning your closet's awesome. Sometimes you just get a hankering to go back and watch it and see how you feel about it again. So that's what I did with the Silent Hill franchise. I fucked around and found out after watching it that this is a beloved movie. This is some people's favorite video game adaptation of all time. And as far as video game adaptations go, probably rightfully so. It's like this or Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? Everything else is pretty shitty. This movie has glaring holes. Terrible, no good, very bad holes. Not the kind of holes you like. You know what I'm saying? The guy who directed it, Christopher Gans, was actually a huge fan of the franchise and spent 5 years convincing Konami. I can't fucking talk today! Spent 5 years getting the company to let him do the film, and they finally did. So he's a huge fan, and he put all this detail into it. And to give you some background on me, I played the first couple games. Don't remember shit. And I liked Silent Hill, but don't expect me to remember any of the comparisons between the game. But I did notice that they did change some things. Like, so it stars Sean Bean as the dad. Now in the game, it's the dad who is the one stuck in Silent Hill walking through trying to find his daughter. They also changed the little girl's name. The mom is the one in this one that's actually going through Silent Hill. And I don't really get that. For one, Rhoda Mitchell plays the mom, and we'll get to her in a second, but one of the biggest problems with the movie is Sean Bean's character feels like just completely fucking wasted, right? And he does. And some people complain, they're like, oh man, I can't believe they keep going back to Sean Bean. I'm like, no, Sean Bean should have been the one in Silent Hill. No offense to Rhoda Mitchell, but she was, to me, she was just like kind of half there. She seemed in and out. And the stuff that the character did is my biggest problem with the movie, but we'll get to that again. But Sean Bean, if you switch that around and you put Sean Bean and his acting ability and what he can do as the person going through Silent Hill, I think this movie would have been exponentially better. Just stick with what the game did, man. That's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have worked. They were so faithful to so many different parts of the game and that main sticking point. But I found myself when they would go back to Sean Bean, who's on the outskirts, while his daughter's stuck in Silent Hill and his mom is. He's trying to rile up police and figure out shit and just do what he can, even though he's not in the fucking upside down that is Silent Hill. But they keep panning back to that, and it adds to a running time that is already an overly long running time. I actually don't feel like that is the biggest aggressor of a running time, though. I feel like there's a whole lot of shit that is happening back at Silent Hill you could have cut out. For instance, the mom. So basically, if you guys don't know, the little girl, spoiler alert, her personalities have been split into two by all the tragedy and trauma that she's went through. And the angry version is what took that out on Silent Hill. And basically, the good version of her was let to go back to the real world. And then she was adopted by these parents. She starts having these night problems, screaming Silent Hill, just obviously screaming, Silent Hill! Silent Hill! And the movie just jumps right in. There's a terrible editing situation going on, which adds to the running time of the film too, but we just jump right in at the beginning of this movie, and this girl's having these issues. The next thing you know, Sean Bean's in his office, and she's like, I don't care about the fights we've been having for years about this. I'm going off the grid. Hi-ho, chitty-chitty, bang-bang. I'm taking our daughter to Silent Hill, and you can't stop me. And he's like, what the fuck? But it just comes out of nowhere. So she decides, I don't know if there's like stuff that they filmed about them having these arguments, but the way the movie made it seem, she was just like, fuck it, get in the car. Let's go right now. I'm not waiting for him to get off of work. So the mom, first off, the character of it seems terrible to me. I think she's a terrible mother. And I know that like, that's not the way the movie wants you to see it. That's not the way the game sees it. But to me, she's an awful mom. First off, she throws her daughter in the car against her husband's wishes, who by all counts doesn't seem like a non-understandable dude. It just seems like she decided this and fucked the world. So she throws her in the car. They're driving. They stop. And the weirdest situation happens. Well, they're at this stop and this cop comes up, right? And why the fuck is a cop wearing leather pants? I don't know. It's just one of the weird things in the movie. But Laurie Holden plays Sybil, who's a character that is straight from the games. It's a cop. And it's cool how that she wears the helmet. She's got like a nice, like a sexy T-1000 thing going on, but leather pants are just fucking dumb. That's just a stretch too far. And everybody felt like they were, like the entire movie, everybody felt like they should be on a runway somewhere. Like, I mean, I just didn't get a natural feeling from almost anybody in this movie. The cop walks up and just weirdly, he's like, hey, you okay? I heard you speaking to your daughter pretty close to her face. I'm just gonna be really invasive. The cop goes to pull her over. So you're a mom in this situation. You're driving your daughter to this supposedly dangerous-ass Silent Hill place that she's been having nightmares about. In the middle of the fucking night, you're acting crazy as shit. I'm sure this is not adding at all to her trauma and what she's feeling going on at this point. You've ran away from her dad. So now let's paint that picture. You're in the dark, dangerous town, all that shit. She parks. The cop gets off the bike and starts walking towards her, and she decides to literally put them both in danger. Not only is mommy going to get arrested in front of me now, but mommy's also going to throw us off the side of a fucking cliff. She hits the goddamn gas and just burns it, driving crazy. The girl screaming drives right through the front gate of Silent Hill. Maybe in the game, I understand why it's so important, but the movie, we're judging the singular movie. They give you no backstory to make it make any sense that the mom would be that fucking crazy. I get the girl's about to fucking jump off the town landfill, but just lock your fucking front doors. You know, put a baby monitor on her. This is unnecessary. But yeah, just insane, terrible parenting. Made me hate the mom right off the bat. Just see what the fucking cop has to say. What are you doing? She wakes up after this wreck, doesn't know where her fucking kid is. And the worst part to me about it is, she seems to forget her kid's missing like 32 times during the movie. She'll just be walking slowly. Oh, what are these leaves? Oh shit, my daughter's missing. And I don't know, like her character just seemed off to me. Even the dialogue. A couple times I was watching her mouth move with the dialogue, and I'm like, is this shit dubbed? If that were me and my kid were lost in this fucking foggy, scary-ass shithole, even before the fucking Ooga Boogas start coming out at me, I'm losing my goddamn mind. I'm calling the fucking cops. I know the phone wasn't working. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm running like fucking Tom Cruise through that bitch. Like Ben Affleck in the smoke at the beginning of Batman vs. Superman. Where's my little girl? I'm banging on doors. I'm throwing a fucking shit fit. Probably bawling my eyes out. What the fuck have I done? She's just like, oh no! Ooh, chocolate. So anyways, Rhoda Mitchell, I'm not saying I'm sure she's a wonderful actress, just did not dig the performance here. And from what I understand, she wanted to do a different movie, didn't want to do this, but then the other movie got canceled or whatever, so she came back. And her and the director had problems because he didn't feel like she ever wanted to be there. And I know that I'm in the minority on this, but I feel like the performance showed that she didn't want to be there. So that's my biggest part with the first movie, totally. That and sometimes it was way too dark. Right? Way too fucking dark to see what was going on in certain scenes. In other scenes, though, holy shit, did they fucking nail it. And this is one of the things that's the best. Silent Hill rules. The way they made that whole town look once you're in there with the ash coming down and the fog or the smoke or whichever it is, depending on the game and the movie. The hallways, the walls, the gristle, the ghost town look, the way that siren would go off and the camera would pan up to the cross shit, just haunting. Those fucking Ooga Boogas in the street, this dude's wrapped in saran wrap trying to do the Thriller dance with no arms, no legs, freaky as shit. Oh my god, the nurse scene, fucking amazing. They looked beautiful. I mean, I don't know why their tits had to be so big, but another thing that goes a little bit deeper is all of these monsters are manifestations apparently of different feelings and traumas and whatnot that the kid has. So like the nurses were like her jealousy over the nurse that was taking care of her, something like that. There's a whole thing. There's a fun little wiki page that you can go to and look them all up, and it's actually really interesting. That stuff I absolutely loved. Oh, fucking Pyramid Head. Holy shit tits, man. That guy ruled. The scene where he's coming in with that big fucking sword and they're hiding in like the thing, that was scary as shit, man. That he's invasive. And I think they said something about he's meant to embody like rape or whatever, which is when he pushes the door in on them and puts his big fucking sword in there, it's intrusive. And then when the bugs come out, it's supposed to mean sperm. Ew, he's scary as shit. They rocked the effects here in most cases. Sometimes it was dark and shitty, but like the dude that works at Valvoline covered in oil crawling down the hallways, like doing the crab walk, like, I'm like, ew, God, you're nasty. Freaky as shit, scary as fuck. Loved all that stuff. And again, it got so intense when that siren would go off and everything would start ashing. All the effects were beautiful. Just, that is the beauty of Silent Hill, the movie right there. It's something that was forgotten because you're kind of angry that you're watching what ends up being a semi-shitty movie at the end of the day, that you forget how great the greatness of the great stuff was. What the fuck am I, a word turducken? The stuff that's good's really fucking good, man. And the best scene of the fucking movie, when Pyramid Head goes up to that crazy chick and she's like screaming about, this is fucking terrible character, by the way. He picks her up and just, holy shit, it's one of the best kills I've ever seen in a movie. Seriously. He pulls all of her clothes off, just like whoop, and then grabs her by her titty skin and just de-skins her. Just de-bags her like a fucking shrimp. Oh my God, that was awesome. That looked cool. He's big as fuck. He's scary. God damn, let that dude play center for the Denver Nuggets. Fucking awesome scene and amazing, and they crushed all that shit. So yeah, I get why people who love it. At the end of the day, as a movie, it falls a little bit short for me. It is a 7. I'm being generous by giving it a 7. I really am. But the more and more I talk about that cool shit, I just can't help it. It's probably more of a 6 too. It's probably a 6.5. I'll go with the 7. I'm a positive guy. Let's be positive today. I'm going to go with the 7 for the original Silent Hill just because of that amazingness. But it's gaping holes. Gaping. To take the one main character and put them into two persons. The mom, and then the crazy, there's supposed to be the Miss Carmody lady from like The Mist, like that kind of crazy church religion person. Look, you're just boring me at this point with all that stuff. There was way too much dialogue going on with that. That could have been simplified way down, and it was cool the way they went back and told the story. It was very like Saul-ish, like bum 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 when you're learning it. Just that needed to be streamlined, man. You need to cut that dialogue down. In the game, they had that as one person. Now you've separated into two, and now we have both dialogues that try and cover just certain decisions like that made the pacing of this movie is just a fucking lag at times. And that's one of the reasons. And it's also semi-confusing. Like, I can't hear half of what that fucking crazy lady's saying. And I don't feel like the Miss Carmody type character really sold it the way I wanted her to. And then in the end, it's very fucking confusing. When they explain everything, it still confuses the shit out of me. She comes up and all of a sudden she's on the hospital bed with a barbed wire. We're just giving people crazy powers left and right. And going back into it and really looking into it, I understood what was going on with which character and what was happening. But they just did a terrible job explaining it. There's just a wasted pacing of the first movie. It's just what crushed it to me, and poorly explained stuff. I do love the end. I love some ambiguity, but it was all at the wrong time, and there's a way to do ambiguity. Like I said about Halloween Ends that so many people laughed at before. You know, you can't lead a horse to water if you don't have a fucking horse. Like, you have to explain some stuff and then add the ambiguity. This was just like a fucking, we don't have to tell you shit! Crazy lady on a hospital bed with barbed wire. And maybe you're thinking, Mike, it was fucking obvious to me. You're a fucking idiot. I am a fucking idiot. But also, I'm the majority that I'm not alone. I think a lot of people were really confused. A lot of commoners were real confused by the end of that movie. And now we get into Revelation. It was kind of half of the bag of solace in the theater. Dug the 3D effects when they were happening. I kind of wish there was more of that. But yeah, this one starts off and it's just... wow. The ending of the last movie, by the way, super cool idea. You think they're going home. They think they've made it. They show up. He's on the couch. That was very artsy, very well done. Very holy shit at the end. What's going on? And then this movie just jumps in and it's like they've moved from town to town. Sean Bean's very sad and he buys her a very nice vest. But the mom just shows up in the fucking mirror one day and they just kind of do a flashback to just kind of poo-poo the ending of the last one. She's just like, hey, I found the secret coin and very convenient for the storyline and probably the cast salaries that it only lets her come back. I got the coin. It'll open a rip for her to come back to you, but I have to stay here now. And he's like, wait, what the fuck? And she's just like, bye, into the mist. Weak exposition for that whole thing. But yeah, so he's alone with the daughter now. That's how the daughter came back into the world. And she's grown and she's edgy as fuck. They have these terrible scenes of her in high school where she stands up and she's like, by the way, I'm not going to be friends with any of you, so don't even try. And it's just like, okay, My Chemical Romance, calm the fuck down. I love My Chemical Romance. Anyways, Kid Harington, fucking Jon Snow shows up and he's like, hey, I'm new here and I'm completely obsessed with you after seeing you one time. It's totally stupid. He follows her around everywhere the entire goddamn movie. There's no reason for him to be that crazy about her. And we find out later on what's going on with that a little bit, but the love turns out to be real and you're like, I've only known you for 2 weeks. Not even that. So his obsession with her, whether for a reason in the beginning or natural at the end, was just bad. That was all written bad. It starts out this fucking weird carnival, and nothing looks Silent Hill-y at all to me. Like, everything looks like a really cheap, badly done Cenobite. Especially, like, the main characters. Like, what a fucking Cenobite ripoff. She's got these 2 buttholes for eyeballs, and then, like, all of a sudden these blades show up. It's terrible looking. It's awful. It's no good, very bad. And we find out that the people at Silent Hill need her to come back because she has to be whole for them to destroy her and reverse the curse, basically. Which is what I wish the fucking Packers would do. Anyways, there's a couple scenes where they use 3D, big old sausage fingers to get cut off flying at the screen. Pyramid Head's reduced to running the tilt-a-whirl. at the fucking carnival for half the goddamn movie. He does have this one scene where he comes through and he's like cutting people's arms off, but everybody's just like, I'm next! Like, nothing in this movie makes any goddamn sense at all. And it's poorly acted. Terrence Malick shows up at the fucking end, and you use him as the crazy-ass grandpa, and he's like, she gives him she's like, hey, I need this to find my dad, or whatever. And he's like, okay, let me just shove this into my chest. And then he's just, you could tell he knew this movie's a piece of shit. He probably saw how things were getting ran over on craft services or something. It was like, okay, I'm Terrence Malick. I'm just going to mail this shit the fuck in. He overacts, but in like a fun way. It's just not good. And then he becomes this gigantic thing. Just none of it makes sense to the lore. It's all fucking terrible. The acting's terrible. There's some fun stuff to be had, though. Once she actually gets to Silent Hill and we get past all the fucking bad exposition and awful storylines they're trying to tell in this, it's pretty goddamn cool a couple times. There's this one monster thing that, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe is in the games. The mannequin doll head that looks like something from a fucked up Toy Story. Looked like one of Sid's toys. It's like a spider carrying doll heads. That thing freaked me the fuck out, all right? And they did a good job with the effects on that. And then she goes to like this mannequin factory where they're just taking human beings, and there's just randoms there. Like, hey, I was on my way to the mall and I got stuck here. Like, that seems odd. But yeah, this thing's turning people into mannequins, and that shit looked kind of dope. When she finally gets to Silent Hill, the look's there, the feel's there. Again, the bad Hellraiser stuff's awful, but they do some other pretty cool stuff. And then at the very fucking end of it, just makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. And I mean fucking none. She's just like, they've got her dead to rights. Like, we got you in Silent Hill. This is our plan all along. You're getting what you deserve. You're reaping what you sow. What movie is that from? Comment down below. She just hands her this fucking coin, and she's like, oh god, you're gonna make me reveal who I really am. And then she comes the Cenobite lady, and fucking Pyramid Head just comes out and like, we will fight to the death. They just start fighting. He kills her and then all of a sudden lets everyone fucking go. Like, we just fade to black and they're just walking the streets of Silent Hill like, thank God we defeated the curse. And it's like, what? What in the fuck, butt? It's also what's bad when she meets up with her evil self. The girl's like, yeah, but I need you. Come back to me. They hug on the carousel. They don't even explain what happens. The next thing we know, it's just like, that scene's done with. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? Just like, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. There's holes in that script the size of the fucking Grand Canyon. It's a slog to get through. There's some cool scenery at times. There's some scary looking cool shit at times. But, man, did they fuck that story and that ending specifically. And then Sean Bean's like, go! I have to say, hey, I like you a lot, daughter. You know, he says something like that a couple times throughout both movies. He's like, you know I love our daughter just as much as you, right? And I'm like, yeah, you're probably supposed to love her more, to be honest. That's your fucking kid, dude. But at the end, he's like, hey, thanks. Appreciate you getting me out of there. You're a good kid. I gotta go, though. Gotta find your mom. I hope everything works out. Just stick your thumb out on the interstate, and this dude will pick you and Jon Snow up, and that's literally what happened. Ugh, what a terrible movie. There's probably more to say. I'm getting lost in the winds of it all. But yeah, that movie fucking sucked butt. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Just for the cool effects and the cool Silent Hill shit and Sean Bean. Pretty dope. So yeah, overall, this franchise, by the way, they just announced that the director of the original one, Christopher Gaines, is coming back to do another movie. I'm excited about that. Like, I didn't love a lot of stuff he did with the first movie. But to be fair, if he learned some lessons from that, you know he's going to get the look right. You know he's going to get the game stuff right. If he learns some pacing lessons from that, if they get someone to go in and edit that and tighten that bitch up a little bit, we could get a really special movie. So I am looking forward to seeing what he does with that for sure. And yeah, man, it was very boring at times to go back into this franchise, but very fun at times. And one thing I just love, man, is I just love the look of it. I love those nurses with their strangely big tits. And I love the Pyramid Head guy. What a cool world, man. If someone could take this shit and get the story right and just simplify it a little bit, it could make for an amazing horror series. So how do you guys feel about this stuff? How do you guys feel about these movies? How do you guys feel about a nice warm glass of shut the hell up? How do you guys feel about not forgetting to subscribe and click the bell so that you're notified when we do videos? I love your all's fucking faces. Thank you guys so much for spending this time with me again today. And I hope you guys fucking have an awesome one. Hey, hundreds of more videos. Almost 100 full movie commentaries. tons of shit on our Patreon. Just have a look-see for yourself. Click in the link down below. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box, or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not, yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never ends.